In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Victor Oladipo and how he shoots the basketball. Let's get down and let's check him out and see what makes him such a great shooter. Okay, so when Victor Oladipo shoots the ball, most of the time he doesn't do all that many set shots. He usually comes off of a screen or off of a pin down screen and then receives the ball for the shot. So what we see here is, of course, he has his feet and his body angled to the floor. In a set shot, you would want to have obviously your body going straight up. However, he's coming off of a screen here and he's trying to stop his momentum going towards that side, which means that he needs to go up on an angle so that he can stop that momentum. To do this, when he comes off of that screen and he wants to stop, he plants this left foot and then he kicks down this right foot so that his toes hit that ground. You really want to go heel toe on that foot and then toes on the right foot, obviously if you're going towards that right side. He then rises up into his set point and he has a two motion shot, which means that he pauses or freezes at that forehead at first before he goes into his shot. So he gathers that ball roughly at that waist, and he doesn't dip that ball at all. He brings the ball from close to his body out from farther away and then raises it up the middle of his body up to his set point, which is the middle of his forehead. Now this works for Victor Oladipo because this allows him to get that shoulder and elbow directed in line with the basketball net. Also, because his shot is angled, we're going to see that this ball is not over top of his shoulder. It does slightly touch on the plane of existence, however, it doesn't line up fully with that shoulder or that upper arm. What we do see, however, is what looks to be a three-finger release, and we can see this when it comes to other clips as well. We can also see that he doesn't have a thumb flick. If he did, his palm would be facing towards the rim. It is not usually a great thing to have a thumb flick. With a thumb flick, you would normally have lack of backwards rotation on the ball and lack of arc, which is not good. However, some players like Curry are still able to get backwards rotation on the ball as well as arc. Some players will also dip that ball before they go up into their set point. We don't see this with Victor Oladipo. Without dipping that ball, what we're seeing is a lot faster of a release at the end of the shot. However, for some players, they need to dip that ball first, almost like a backswing in golf. We can also see that he has a soft release at the end. He doesn't have that Michael Jordan flick where the wrist goes hard. Now, with a soft release, this is going to negatively impact your backwards rotation most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. However, it will positively affect the arc on your shot. This is what I call a high soft release because his elbow is above his forehead and he's got that soft release, and he also holds that shot for some time after releasing that ball. This will allow him to not have any effect on that ball if he was to pull back his arms quickly. However, we do see that he's got that 90, close to 90, and 90, which means that he's got a 90-degree angle on his shoulder like Michael Jordan, very close to 90 on his elbow, and 90 on his wrist, which will positively affect the backwards rotation by giving it more backwards rotation by having a 90-degree angle on that wrist. And we can see here that he has close to a 90-degree angle on his elbow. However, it is more leaning towards that 45-degree angle. I would say somewhere between a 90 and a 45. However, we can see that when he's lower with his shot, he does have what is about a 45-degree angle. He also has a pretty stable shot by getting his shoulders over his knees, over his toes. This creates that zigzag where it's a 90 and 90, again, to give yourself this time more stabilization, not necessarily more power. However, by having your shoulders over your knees and toes, that will give you more power ultimately. We also do see Victor coming off of screens attacking the net and then taking a spin move away from his defender so that he can get that knee up and, of course, a nice level shot. Now, of course, when he's doing this fadeaway, I really want to point out that when he does a fadeaway, so many players, when they do fadeaways, they bring the ball way behind their head. I'm talking about younger players, not NBA players. And they'll have a massive angle on their body trying to get away from that defender. The next time you do a fadeaway, I really want you to focus on what Victor Oladipo does, and that is by keeping that right knee up so that he can get that shoulder and elbow in line with the rim, and then keeping your body straight up and down over top of the foot that you, of course, came off the ground last with. This will allow you to have a nice stable shot. Even though you're drifting away from the net, if your body is straight up and down, you're having your same release up top, and you're bringing and driving that right knee up so that you can get that right side in line. You're going to be very successful. We can see this close up right here where he can get that right knee up, and that is, again, super important to get that right side in line with the basketball net. And then we can see here that his middle finger does touch the ball last. However, he generally has a 3-finger release, but anytime you have a 3-finger release, you do have your middle finger touching that ball last. 3-finger releases will always have that middle finger touch last, obviously because it's the longest finger on your hand. Allows him to have a nice, perfect release. Look at how much spin he gets on that ball. We can see right here how he gets, that's a half a spin, that's a full spin, and then he gets another, that's 2 full spins and about a quarter. And overall, fantastic shooter, fantastic shooting form, very good player overall. I really hope that this Victor Oladipo basketball shooting form breakdown helps you shoot the basketball better. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.